Hi, and welcome to Talking About. I'm Cara Kilduff.
And I'm John Griffith.
I am so hyper and pumped to introduce our first guest. It's JC Alverez.
Hi, guys.
Hi, and welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hi.
I am like living the life because it's like right now, it's almost as if all of my childhood dreams have come true in prime time.
And you're wearing new sneakers.
Yes, I'm wearing these sneakers. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
Thank you for noticing.
Missed you. Mm-hmm.
I've missed you guys too.
So what's
But
going on?
I've been very busy. I've been very
What have
busy.
you been doing?
I've been very busy with TV.
Ooh.
With television and things that are going on in prime time, as I mentioned, because absolutely, positively, you know, one of the really exciting things about right now that's happening in television is that it's full of superheroes.
Yay.
And John and I can
And
relate.
you're a comic book guy.
Well, I mean, you know, it's so validating as a person who considers themselves
A nerd? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
a connoisseur, a big fan, a big geek of comics, that I feel validated that it's turned into this huge sort of big thing. And I'm mostly excited that The Flash is back on TV.
Yay. It's one of my favorites.
I mean, it's like, you know, in the 90s, John Wesley Shipp played The Flash in a show that was short-lived for about a year.
Right.
And
it was,
now
well, it was too expensive at the time.
it was too expensive at the time. It, you know, it got really busy. I mean, they were going on the whole Tim Burton kind of vibe and all that. But I mean, for us, for fans of the genre, I mean, it was just like really like a dream come true, seeing this show. And they've brought the show back, and it's in prime time in its second season, and it's really a huge hit. I was at San Diego Comic-Con the year that the show launched.
Okay.
The original one?
Well,
No, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just asking you. I don't know. I don't follow comic books.
I'm gonna follow. You know what? We're gonna go to a clip. We're gonna show clip number 1, and then I'm gonna follow that up with a story. You're so sassy.
What? Just trying to follow.
Okay.
Okay, so San Diego Comic-Con is bananas. It's turned into a huge. I mean, once upon a time, when again John Wesley Shipp, who was the Flash in the '90s, he had to attend San Diego Comic-Con to promote his show in the '90s. He was on set shooting his show. They literally like flew him from the set up to San Diego. He was in San Diego Comic-Con for about 45 minutes. Took pictures, signed autographs, and was jetted back to the set of his show, and that was it. This year at San Diego Comic-Con, it took an entire day. It took an entire set. I mean, it was like the biggest media tour ever, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and more fans come out.
Which is wonderful and horrible.
It's wonderful and horrible, but at the same time, it's really an exciting thing to be a part of, and also really validating for people who are fans of this show. And The Flash is really a really great show to be a fan of. I mean, it's like a great cast. Grant Gustin has now inherited the role of the Flash, and John is back on the show as his father, as a nice sort of like nod to. You know.
Right, and he's popping up, what, about 5 times a year, thereabout?
Yeah. I mean, we just found out this in this season that Henry Allen, who's actually Barry Allen, the Flash's father, was wrongly accused of murdering Nora Allen, who's Barry's mother, and he's just been vindicated for that murder. So Henry's actually out of prison, while Barry is now pursuing his role as the fastest man alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really don't know much about the Flash.
Well, didn't you have a favorite superhero growing up?
Wonder Woman.
Okay, Wonder Woman, who is
Linda Carter.
well,
Wonder Woman.
Linda Carter is the epitomal Hippolyta Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
You know, we
It's
look at her as the
funny, I think.
iconic sort of like. You know,
When I was little, I used to love Wonder Woman as well as the Flash. But yeah, to all the other kids that we would talk about Wonder Woman, and I would be talking about her hair bouncing, and they were talking about her body bouncing.
Well, no, I have a question about the Flash.
Yeah.
What's the superpower? Okay, he's fast. Is it genetic, or does he have to take something, or does super suit make him that way?
well, if we're sticking to the origin on the TV show,
yeah.
because there are several incarnations of Flash throughout its entire 75-year history of the character.
Oy,
If we stick to
it's a lot.
yeah, it's a lot. You know, it's Wonder Woman's also
Captain America is also one of my favorites.
it's a rather
Different
younger
universe,
character,
but,
but you know, different universe as well. So it's kind of we'll stick away from the Marvel characters.
No, we'll talk about your Flash.
We'll talk about the Marvel characters on another show.
Well, he brought the T-shirt. So
Yeah.
let him
No, I know. I want.
But-
Okay.
But you asked me a question about how he got his powers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, on the TV show, what's that? What is that
Yes.
about?
Go
What is
ahead.
going on here?
I just missed you.
Well, oh, thank you. Well, there's a particle explosion, right?
Yes.
And at the same time that this big, huge particle explosion occurs, that's a lot of particle explosion is a science kind of thing. Big explosion.
It's a MacGuffin. It's
yes,
a MacGuffin.
it's an experiment gone bad.
Okay.
But Barry Allen is in his lab. He's a CSI investigator. He investigates crimes and you know the details of crimes. He's in his lab and he gets struck by lightning at the same time that this explosion goes off, and the mix of this explosion plus the lightning,
Oh, I have goosebumps.
I know, gives him the power of the Speed Force.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I am a nerd, so that's why I
Yeah.
tease you. Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks.
No, that's
Thanks.
really cool.
I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, it's like, but this season on the show, you know, the whole universe of the Flash has opened up big time, because as any fan of DC Comics knows, there's a whole multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually a Flash before this Flash.
Which,
keeping up with
is-
me?
Yeah.
I am.
Okay. And there'll also be a sort of like female Flash being
Oh, I don't
introduced
care about
this season on the show. Oh, you don't?
Oh.
Okay. I'm just saying.
But we don't know that yet.
Well, so it'd be really exciting stuff to happen.
Rumor has it.
Yes.
Yeah, but like, you know, my concern is like, is her costume going to be cool looking? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you know.
That's how I pick football teams.
Well, you know, that's a great thing. That's a great thing also about these shows. I mean, they're being so faithful to the comic book fan and really, you know, really going at it. And the actors really love these roles.
You know why they're being faithful? Because comic book fans get pissed off.
You know,
and they're vocal.
they're extremely vocal.
awesome.
Yes, they're extremely vocal, and they're very dedicated, and they're really dedicated to the canon of the show. Actually, you know, thanks for setting this up, because you set up our next clip. At Dragon Con, which is in Atlanta, when the Flash panel got together, Candace Pan, who plays Iris West, who's Barry Allen's love interest, kind of think like Lois Lane and Clark Kent. You know who Clark
She
Kent
knows what a love interest is.
Oh, good.
I know Superman.
Oh my, I'm just checking.
Don't be mansplaining.
I'm
Okay,
not-
continue.
Well, Candace Pan, with fans who are so dedicated to the canon, had to sort of like deal with a difficult question that was posed to her and handled it very well. Let's roll, I believe, clip number 2.
Like an actual real one?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, one of the questions we go through people when they're preparing for marriage is things like, are you related, are you adopted?
Huh?
Did you grow up in the same house as if you were brother and sister? And I was wondering...
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When you were counseling people before they get married,
Yeah.
you ask them if they're related to each other?
Yeah, I know, you gotta ask all these questions. And one of them is basically like y'all's situation in the show.
Yeah, I'm a Southerner. Don't you realize that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Southerner too, but geez.
I'm just wondering kind of how you and as Iris and Barry, how y'all's characters kind of, or you as actors deal with that, because it seems kind of sketchy that y'all basically grew up as brothers and
Rude.
sisters. Yeah.
I don't know. You know, it's funny. I get this question a lot. Maybe I'm the creepy, sadistic one, but it's never really been a weird thing to me. You know, they've grown up as pseudo brother and sister, just in the sense that they've lived in the same household, and Joe West has been a father figure to both of them, but you know, they are not in any way related. We've made that very clear with my race being black, his race being white. Like, there's no blood shared at all. Us potentially getting married, having children is okay by your God.
Ladies and gentlemen, Candace Patton! Sir, I hope that was okay with you and enjoy Dragon Con nonetheless.
So as you can see, fans, diehard fans,
Yeah,
really.
she handled that really well.
She did. I mean, it's so hard for an actor, especially an actor, a talented actor as Candace is, who's playing this iconic role, to like sort of like come under fire the way that she did. But she handled that so beautifully in that, you know, sometimes these things don't, you know, there's an evolution to these characters, especially how they're now presented on television and in a new form. So she handled that beautifully, and she's such a great character and such a great actress in that role. It's really a lot of fun to see them all at work.
Did you go to Comic-Con here?
You know, no. There was
Why?
You get to a point where you're kind of like conned out. you kind of like get exhausted, and
I can imagine.
And I'm just, you know, there as a fan, and it can really get to be a lot. I can imagine for any of the talent who has to like be sort of like under this heavy-duty microscope all day long, and just at the whim of their audience, because it's really, there's just no out. It's like a fishbowl. And you're kind of
But
stuck
also
in there.
all I can think is the level of patience that they all have to answer these.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, I mean, it's like, you know, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, genre fans, we take this stuff so seriously, but then, you know, there's those of us that understand that that's all kind of like a fantasy made up world, and then there's other people who kind of like don't. Who they kind of like live in it. Who so brilliantly, William Shatner once in a Saturday Night Live skit, kind of like addressed that with his fans. He was sort of like, you know,
Yeah.
when they were asking him.
Get a life.
Yeah, he was like, get a
Basically.
life, and
Yeah.
it's sort of like,
Yeah, I don't remember if it was Saturday Night Live or Fridays, but it was one of the two.
oh, it's such a
Yeah.
brilliant skit, and also like really just drives that note that, you know what, it's not real, it's TV. It's TV. But nonetheless, it's still so fantastic that so many people really love this type of medium and are supporting it and going out there. And again, like, you know, and I know John relates this, for someone who's grown up loving this kind of stuff to now be sort of like seeing it from this end and seeing it grow the way that it has, and also contribute the way that I do, because it's sort of like, you know, being included in on a lot of these things is really quite exciting. And I blog about it a lot. If anyone wants to go to my blog at www.thrillseekerhq.com, and I know no one says www anymore, but thrillseekerhq.com, and I also am a contributor for dccomicsnews.com. So it's kind of like, you know, it gives you.
When did that happen?
Well, a lot of stuff happens. I keep myself active and
That's
busy.
very cool.
Yeah, I try to do my best. So it's really kind of fun, a really fun arena to be in right now, and just sort of be exploring all these really great comic explosions.
Yeah, I'm just the one thing that scares me is I'm afraid of burnout, because you have the you have the Netflix series, you have the CW/CBS universe,
Sure.
and I'm not sure if that's going to be a tied together universe or not. That remains to be seen.
Right.
And then you also have the ABC Disney Marvel universe, and the potential for burnout is great if it's not handled correctly.
And that's also a really good point, given that, you know, certainly The Walking Dead, which is one of the biggest shows on television, on cable, its spin-off didn't necessarily grab the numbers that the network had hoped it would grab, seeing as how successful Walking Dead is.
Right.
It still did really, really
It
well.
did really well, and I don't know if you watched it or not. I watched the initial 6 that have aired, and it was pre-renewed for a second series. So what they did with the first series that the original series didn't do is they started from the beginning and they did a slow build, and then by episode 6, the season finale of season 1, then it was at full speed and running, and I would expect season 2 to just continue the momentum.
Yeah, we hope so. But it's just also kind of interesting how the season opener for Walking Dead just didn't necessarily get the numbers that they were kind of like hoping, even though they're still astronomical. They're great
Or
numbers.
Fear the Walking Dead.
Well, no, for the new
for-
show.
oh.
The new show didn't necessarily hit as much as the network might have wanted it to, but it's still a huge hit on television. But I mean, yeah, is there going to be a point where it's going to be too much? Is it going to be exhaustive? Yeah, there's that happens with anything. I mean, CBS is about to launch Supergirl, which is spectacular.
Right, and similar creative teams between.
Right, Greg Berlanti and Andrew Kreisberg, who also do the Arrow and the Flash, are now taking Supergirl to CBS,
And I've seen the pilot, and
it is spectacular.
really liked it a lot.
Yeah. And Melissa
good.
Benoist, who
Yeah.
plays Supergirl, is wonderful. I mean,
yeah,
people
I
are just
loved her
gonna
on
love
Glee,
her.
because
Yeah.
she's another Glee alum,
Yeah.
along with Grant Gustin.
Yep.
And she did a really phenomenal job. The early clips that leaked didn't do the actual pilot justice. When I saw the whole pilot from start to finish, I said, okay, yeah, if people watch it, they will be they will be hooked.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great amount of humor in it, but it's also got a really, it resonates with a lot of humanity, but still also, it's Supergirl flying around cities saving us from evil.
And I've
That
only
is
seen
so
the first
cool.
one, and as long as they don't fall into a trap of making her lovelorn, then
Well, she
then it will be
has a
fine.
couple of love interests on the show.
Yes, but not the old school.
And I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Not one.
I don't blame
I don't blame her.
I wait for these programs to come to the Netflix, and then I watch them.
Well, on the Netflix, we have the other universe that John
Yeah,
mentioned
which
earlier.
is
We
part,
have,
part of the Marvel universe.
right,
Who?
we've got the Daredevil.
Daredevil is in there.
Oh, I have so much catching up to do. I just started with the Captain America. Oh my God, you
Daredevil
guys.
and Jessica Jones premieres in November, and they're building their own universe that's kind of running side by side with the film universe.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And one of my friends, her husband is, honest to God, he's like a real life superhero. Like he is Tony Stark. So I mean, that's
She's very lucky because Tony Stark is very rich.
well. This man is an evil genius.
Yes.
I adore him, and
Oh, then he's less Tony Stark and more evil Lex Luthor kind of.
no, he's Tony Stark.
Yeah,
But I'm
Tony
just
Stark,
saying that's
made of steel. He's a cooler sex
well,
with a heart of
no,
steel.
no. The point being that that's the closest I get these days to superheroes and whatnot is listening to him talk about things, and then I'm just like, oh my God. And then he's like, come look at the Tesla, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's scary.
it's fun.
Your website again is thrillseekerhq.com.
ThrillSeekerHQ.com, and I'm constantly posting on there. And also, please check out DCComicsNews.com because there's a lot of really great stuff having to do with DC Comics Universe on there, and I contribute to that as well.
Well, I don't care. I want to know how often you contribute because then I will read it.
I contribute as often as I can,
All right, then I will look at. I will take a look at that.
almost every week.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So it's all right. Oh,
Well,
okay.
Yeah. But you have to come visit us more than once every year and a half.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to. Yeah, definitely. And thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.